It's not just for decoration. Alright, anyway. I don't even know where to look. I feel like looking right in the camera just feels a bit creepy. Anyway. Thank you for witnessing me as I am. However this may go, I'm grateful to be here. I don't know what's going on in this collective recently. Like, I feel like so many changes are happening, and of course it's so cool to watch. Changes are very uncomfortable, and I guess what I've had on my mind is this idea of choosing differently to what I'm used to previously. And what I mean by that, and for some background context, is that I went back home for a holiday for a couple of months, and my rhythm of life changed a lot. I had a lot of situations that brought up a lot of discomfort, and it just kind of ranged from so many different things. But most of all, my rhythm of life changed from being at such a fast pace to being so much slower. And it was so weird in the beginning, especially because I live in London. Like, I have been in England overall for the past 6 years, and now in London for the past 3. And this is compared to Tallinn, Estonia, where I come from and where I grew up. And it's just so much of a different environment. It's so much, everything's a lot slower. And it was so calming. It was so agitating to have to be so much slower again, to have to move at a such slower pace again. And trust me, I even wasn't. I was running around for the first 3 to 2 months. I ended up getting sick. I ended up having to go through a bunch of different situations that forced me to slow down. And with that slowing down, I obviously had much more time to think about all the shit that was going on in my head, like all the stresses, all the worries, all the insecurities. But obviously, like now, even if you're not doing much, you can still just be on your phone or still consume something and always be connected to something in the online world or with someone through our phones. And I found myself, even when I wasn't doing much, I was still somewhere else in my mind, consuming something away at somewhere, even if that wasn't in the physical world. And eventually I was in such a difficult position physically towards the middle, in the middle of my trip, that I felt so much mental discomfort come up. I felt so much physical discomfort, and that was one time that I was so invested in my phone. I was on my phone so much, I was scrolling so much. And this is with no shame to people that feel like they do it all the time, or this is in no way to shame anyone. This is more of an observation of myself, because I'm a very sensitive person. I'm very emphatic, a very emphatic person. I don't know but I'm sure you know what I mean. I can feel myself mentally being so insanely drained. I can feel it through my entire body when I have just been sitting on my phone and scrolling and just completely bottling up and pushing back everything that's going on in my mind and in my body. It all cramps up, and I feel so out of place in the world. I feel so out of place in my body because I haven't taken the time to digest anything that's going on with me. At that point, obviously, I had noticed that I was doing it a lot, and as in that I was sitting on my phone a lot. And I felt very guilty. I felt very ashamed that I wasn't kind of holding up to my goals or expectations. As I noticed my agitation build up, as I noticed myself feeling worse by the amount of time that I spent trying to run away from my emotions and the thoughts that were coming up, I would obviously start thinking all right, so tomorrow or from now, I'm gonna put my phone away before I go to sleep. I had such big trouble with snoozing, and I was just like, fuck, okay, I'm gonna set this alarm, I'm gonna wake up earlier, and I'm not gonna snooze. And obviously that I would keep failing at keeping my promise, and I don't want to use the word fail. And I kept not keeping my word for so long at all of these things. I would not keep my word. I would just keep doing it, and I felt even more disappointed in myself, and I just felt like this trust in myself start depleting, and my confidence in myself start depleting, because our confidence in reality relies very heavily on the fact of how consistently we show up for ourselves. So if you show up for yourself, you have this feedback that, yeah, I can trust myself. Yeah, I show up for these things that I promised myself I would do. Yeah, I would just not do them. And I felt so guilty. But just at some point, I guess, took a moment to understand. And I talk out aloud to myself all the time. Like, I'm sure I seem insane to people if people were to observe it from the outside, but it really helps me, and I'm sure it's actually very natural, and I think we just don't do it because we're so used to keeping everything inside and not expressing what's going on because it seems weird or it seems like it's too much. And it's like, no, bitch, speak to yourself, speak out loud, scream, fucking yell, cry, shake your body, because we're so desensitized to all of this which is going on in our bodies that we just let it build up. But trust me, by the time that you start like to actually feel what's going on in your body, which is what I realized is what I was running away from by being on my phone. What I was trying to get to is that it was when I was packing my bag to come back. This was my last day in Estonia. I was feeling so fucking annoyed at having to pack. Obviously, I was doing it last minute. I was hungover. I was like, it's literally anything I would rather do than this right now. And I found myself like packing, going back and forth, going on my phone, trying to text someone, trying to post something, whatever it was. At some point, I just stopped. In the middle of walking into my room, I was like, no, stop right now. What am I doing? What am I actually doing by just constantly running around right now? And it took me just like a small moment of just taking a pause and understanding I just feel so uncomfortable right now. I am trying to distract myself from all this discomfort that I'm feeling right now. And I was like, okay, no, I need to just stop for a moment. I need to put my phone away. I need to stop what I'm doing and just sit down for a second and breathe and journal, whatever it may be. I just need to stop. I hadn't felt so in control for so long, but I feel like this gives off the wrong message of what I'm trying to say. What I mean more like is that I hadn't felt so in tune with my body and my emotions in so long than I did in that moment. And it's so ridiculous because I had no idea that was actually what I needed until I took a moment to realize. And from then on, I understood how much I needed to take pauses in my day. It made me realize and reflect upon how much I was actually just constantly running around, constantly consuming something. Would it be music? Would it be watching something? Would it be following a yoga video? Whatever it may be. Like, it was just to consume something all the time. I was like talking with someone or whatever it may be. Just anything besides just sitting my ass the fuck down and being like, alright, pause. And from then on, I understood that in reality, I always have that choice. I always, in every moment, have the choice to stop. I have the choice to just pause. Obviously, it would depend on the moment. I won't just like stop in the middle of the road if I realize that I'm stressed the fuck out. But I have the choice to be aware and honest with myself, and also take the responsibility of the fact that I am the one who's making a choice to run away from this feeling of discomfort, from whatever is going on in my mind. That is an active choice that I'm making. And this can feel so harsh and Oftentimes we don't want to hear this because it feels like an attack for us. That in reality, so many things go the way they do because we are choosing to keep ourselves in either a negative thought loop, we are choosing to not believe in ourselves, we're choosing to put ourselves down, whatever it may be, but also on the positive side, we are choosing to believe that we can do it. We can choose to believe that every step that we're taking every day is enough. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to, that in reality, our free will isn't to shame you for the things that you feel like are not really affecting in a positive way. It's to realize that it's actually really freeing. It's insanely freeing to understand that, as much as I've been choosing to stay in this negative thought loop, I've been choosing to run away from things, I now also have a choice to take a moment. I also now have the exact same amount of freedom to pause, which also means I'm just as capable of rewriting my choices. I'm capable of rewriting my life. Everything that we experience in our lives is a mirror, a reflection of how we are, of the energy that we put out in the world. I realized half a year ago, that I have been insanely chronically stressed for the past 6 years. And that the level of anxiety that I had on a daily basis was not okay. It's just that I had gotten so used to it. Anxiety issues, when I started having them, I had no guidance or understanding of what it was, or if it was okay, or what it meant. So I basically have fallen into a thought loop without realizing, because often we don't know either. It's okay, like we are always constantly learning. It's okay not to know everything straight away, and it's okay not to get everything right straight away. It's not even about that. There's no right or wrong. There's just things that are, and that's all it is. Like through this anxiety, I had basically started waking up every day with an instant like state of fight or flight, of just being like, I don't have enough time. What do I need to do? All this, all that. I realized I had been living in this constant state of, oh my god, I have no time. I don't have enough time. And that is what I lived by for the past, I think, 4 or 5 years. Constantly. And I was just choosing to constantly live in this narrative. Obviously I didn't realize it, but now that I did, I had the choice to understand that I can choose to continue living in the same fear that I don't have enough time, or I can start choosing to tell myself and understand that this is just simply fear that likely doesn't have any rational truth to it. So right now, I have the freedom to make a choice that, you know what? No, I have the time. I have all the time that I need to do everything that I need to do right now. And it was just something like that. It has changed my life a lot recently. I hope this is in some way resonating. I'm hoping that this is in some way reaching you in an understandable way. However you're receiving this, I'm hoping it's bringing you something to think about. But yeah, even just now, I have started to kind of notice and realize all these thought patterns that I've been carrying with myself that are very dusty and musty now, as I'm stepping into a kind of new timeline of my life, that I have the choice to rewrite them. And that is a beautiful thing. I just feel like this is such an important thing, because I felt so weighed down by my anxiety. I felt so weighed down by these thoughts that kept coming up in my mind on a daily basis, telling me that I can't do this, I'm not enough, that there's no way I'll make this work, all these sorts of things. I felt so weighed down by them, so I was like, that's just, that I can't have anything else. This is just how it is. And I realized, no, this is just a singular choice that I have made out of many options that are available. And now that I'm aware of it, I can choose different. Instead of telling myself I'm not good enough to do this, no, why would they want me for this? I'm telling myself I am good enough. I am talented. I'm able to reach people who are open to me. I am welcoming in people and opportunities that can provide me the space that I need, and I am able to provide them with what they need. And it's weird. It feels uneasy at first because you're not used to, it's likely that you're not used to saying these things to yourself because you're used to a different narrative. But here I'm telling you, darling, it's actually such a beautiful thing and such a simple thing. Not easy. It's not going to be easy every single time. There's a difference. Simple and easy is a difference. But oftentimes it's these simple things that we look past. And I'm reminding you now, this thing that's really weighing you down, have you actually sat with it? Have you actually looked at that feeling straight in the eye and felt the discomfort it makes you feel? You don't have to label it. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to fix it. It's not about fixing it. It's just about witnessing it. It's about realizing it's there. And if you feel comfortable enough with compassion, trying to understand, okay, well, what's going on then? What are you actually trying to tell me? And it's all truly just a process. It's not a step-by-step guide. It's a remembering that you inherently hold so much power and so much wisdom within yourself already. And that for you to tap into that power, into that wisdom, you need to slow down. You need to actually sit with that feeling, with that anxiety, that flush of energy, just sitting with it. Trust me, you'll learn so much. You will give your mind space to process and think, or not even think, just be with all that is. All I want to say is that everything that you feel so weighed down by, it likely just wants to show you something you haven't been willing to see yet. It's likely these things will come up repeatedly. It's old patterns coming up. It's old wounds. It's about meeting yourself every time again and again with compassion, even when you don't want to, even when you feel fucking agitated and disappointed in how everything is going. It's about coming back to it and building that undeniable conviction with yourself that no, I am powerful. I am capable of moving through this, not around it, not trying to jump over it, trying to push it away. It's about just moving through it and letting it move through you and out of you. Yeah, anyway, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I am trying to let myself allow everything that just comes up and be this, and let this be what it is. So thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for being here. Just being. Thank you for being. And I hope that I got to inspire something within you. It's all a collective dance. It's all I don't even know how to say it. Anyway, I'm gonna fucking go now. Ciao. Anyways, I have my tea to drink. I love you. Thank you. And hopefully we'll see each other again soon.